Hello and welcome to the show. I am here today on Cities Skyline, going to be, well, giving you a tour of my city. Unfortunately, I went to go and record a video on here a little bit earlier. I built a new racetrack over in this corner, and my audio capture all broke entirely. Like, I can, if the audio drops out fractionally, I can work around that, but when it was dropping out constantly and a sort of big 5-minute gap, it was very broken. It was very broken, and I didn't realise until after I'd done everything. So, yeah. We are instead going to be kind of, well, hopefully sorting out some traffic issues and just, yeah, generally having a look around. As you can see, this city is built, designed around using racetracks. Now, that is not a particularly great way of designing a city at the end of the day. However, it has been surprisingly working relatively well. So, this was the first circuit we made, a rendition of sorts of Knock Hill. Actually, not a bad rendition, if I do say so myself. The rest of them, well, that is up to you, if you haven't been watching the streams, to try and figure out what circuits. Some of them are actually pretty accurate. That one's not bad. That one's not bad. That one's not bad. That's okay. That's pretty good. That's kind of about 75% good. Kind of goes a little bit off that side. That's terrible. I just can't get that one working properly in my brain. That's not bad. That's a bit iffy. That's pretty solid. Again, that's about 70-ish% of that's okay, and then it gets a bit squiggly. There are some difficulties with building a lot of these. The game limits what you can do in terms of the kind of road positioning, in terms of the kind of road angles, if you like, which we'll inevitably get to see because I've got to try and actually... I mean, we've got a lot of traffic issues to sort out today. We did have a lot of traffic issues going on here. There were a lot of traffic problems going on here. However, thankfully, they have kind of calmed themselves down. Now, we did have this road here just feeding down this part, and basically that junction there was a nightmare. It was hell. So we've had to get rid of... Well, the junction's still there. It can still be used, but what I've done is to alleviate some traffic issues. We've got a tunnel. I like tunnels. I use tunnels a lot, and especially they work well when you're trying not to ruin the lines of a circuit. So we've got a tunnel that comes down here that spits cars out over this point. Kind of spreads the traffic issues, but it kind of gets cars that need to go over here, without them having to faff around with all of this area, and cars that need to go to this area don't have to worry about traffic going a long way round, essentially. So it kind of all works out. Kind of all works out here. We've largely moved traffic problems, and it's mostly sorted. Yeah, so over this part is working quite well. Now, one funny thing. So I tend to like to build... most of these I've built with tree-lined roads rather than just a general... Yeah, most of them are built like this, but either way, that one there's still got this central reservation, and that means that cars can't go across it. They can't turn around on it, which often means that if you want to go, like if you're up here and you have to get out of the city, if you're kind of on this side and you want to get out of the city, you've got to either, well, from back here, I guess you could probably get away with heading through here, around there, and then you kind of head, I guess you have to go all the way back up there anyway, so it's kind of quicker just to drive around the circuit. Unintentional, it's just the downside of using this sort of roads. There are ways around it, which I'll show you in a minute. However, yeah, it means traffic is being moved about. We have it's kind of building up a little bit, but it's not too bad. This is not made by me. This is a downloaded junction, if you like, from the Steam Workshop. Very, very efficient, very good at dealing with traffic. You will find those in all sorts of places. Yeah, they're a very useful thing. Down here, we did have some traffic problems over here, but I think I've largely sorted these out. This corridor here was terrible. However, by giving cars another escape out of, or trucks and cars another escape over that way, has kind of calmed it all down. Oh yeah, the other thing I did, so the other cunning strategy I had was, so vehicles coming from like this part of the map or from over here wanted to, you know, get up this road. So rather than have them fight this junction that was full of cars trying to leave this area, we gave them a little escape passageway. So if you're coming along from here, from the incinerator plants or whatever, you can just shoot down there, you'll pop out over there. Again, you're kind of just shuffling cars around to avoid some issues. the big thing that we have to kind of try and fix today. So, right, our newest addition is up here. It's all that I built in the previous failed recording. This, we've got a bunch of shops on, and of course there are vehicles, there are workers wanting to get here, there are delivery trucks wanting to get here, and so on. And I have this very, very long road. Now this road is actually kind of adding, or to get these circuits connected, we needed a road to it, and I foolishly thought, you know what, we'll stick this circuit, we'll add this onto the long road. Problem is now, of course, it's technically a shorter route for cars to go up through here than it is for them to go onto the motorway and come along here, even though it's probably quicker to not fight the traffic. Like, cars go the shortest route rather than the quickest time route, they go shortest distance route. But what that means is that we've got this place here as a horrendous, horrendous mess. Although it is slightly better than it was. Only slightly better, but it is slightly better. I'm thinking that we might have to add another road coming up and then joining on to this part. Oh, apparently there's an abandoned building going on over here. It's a tiny little building. Why are you abandoned? Albatross Publishing. Well, obviously not been a good year for them. Goodbye to that one. Yeah, if we add in another road, that should... Do we go for another heavy traffic road, or do we just have like a small road cutting up through the middle of these circuits? Yeah, let's go. We'll go for a small road, and we will see if this is going to deal with... Because this will be now, hopefully, a quicker option, a shorter option for most of the vehicles, rather than faffing around and fighting your way through, wobbling your way through here and up there. It might... I guess they're coming from this direction, they'll go up there rather than that bit, so... We'll figure out. We'll figure out what needs doing. We need to find a better way of getting cars out of here, though. How can we get cars out of there better? The issue we've got going on here is, of course, we've got lots of stop starts. We've got these tiny little short bits, so if it was a green light there, they can't go anyway because that's all stopped, so it's a big old mess. What I might try is... If we were... Okay, that could work. Right. So, again, getting cars out of trouble. Now, I tend to use these motorway, these highway ramps as they're called. I tend to use these for tunnelling. I tend to use these for tunnelling because they are a one-way street. We use these for making of tunnels for these little escape road bits. So we're going to then have that come back up there and then rejoin. That might make this junction a mess, but we will see. Because what I can do is I've got a mod installed that allows us to control what lanes can do. So basically, this means that cars are now no longer allowed to turn left off of that particular turning. So if they want to get out of the track, they've got to use this bit. Now, it's going to make a bit of a mess to start with while everything figures out what the bloody hell is going on. My hope is that it's going to shuffle traffic problems a little bit and shuffle them enough, and then there won't be enough traffic to actually cause a problem. It's sneaky tactics, but it might just work. And then they can go and join in. This bit here... Actually, is that a... Oh, who's done the painting of me lines? They are the wobbliest. They are the wobbliest zebra crossings I ever did see. You shouldn't be giving zebras alcohol, goddammit, and certainly not the painters of the lines on the road. Either way, we'll see how that goes in managing that problem. Basically, a large bit of City Skylines. It is quite a fun part. Oh, that's a lot of traffic going back that way. Again, we're going to have to give it a few minutes to figure out what's going to pan out. Yeah, we will see. I'm not sure how this bypass is going to get used, but there we go. We have got some need for some more shops. Do we... Maybe we'll give some more shops over here, because that can only go well. Let's give some more shops. Maybe we'll fill up this side with some more shops. It's going to be a large, big old section of shops down there. Perfect. Now we can... With some of these tracks, I have been sort of filling the infield. Some circuits won't work for filling the infield. You know, down here it's too busy or too clustered already. there is pretty much like perfect fields, essentially, going on. There, I think there's a little bit of space you might be able to make the most of with something. We might be able to bulldoze that rock and give us a little bit of a... oh, let's have a look, shall we? Can we bulldoze the rock and give us a little bit of a dirt path on the way in? Just sort of sneak your way in. Oh, that's going to be real dodgy. Oh, no, we can sneak our way in there. Okay, so then we can kind of have an extra kind of little area. I'm trying. If I am going to build on the infields, I'll probably build with like dirt roads and whatnot, so as to keep the circuits looking right from the sky. Like, you don't really notice the infield bit at Knock Hill too much when you're up here. You kind of still see that main outside line. In fact, if we go to... I have been turning off the... While building, I don't want day-night cycle going on, because otherwise, yeah, you really don't see very well what you're building, trying to build at night. I think the time of day is all going to be wonky for seeing it at night. But yeah, when you zoom out, you can kind of see... Because these main roads are going to be illuminated. I think the double wide roads are illuminated one colour, and single roads are illuminated like different colour street lights. So it's quite effective to see the outline of the circuits from up high, and the dirt paths aren't illuminated at all. So we will, yeah, probably fill the infield sections with some dirt pathing, or some dirt roads. Traffic can actually get a little bit interesting on these. We have had a great traffic jam at the Knock Hill dirt roads. Which was, yeah, slightly less than ideal, but, you know, it happens. When you build it, like a city like this shouldn't ever work, let's face it. My well-built cities, my sensibly styled cities don't always work. So to have built a city out of racetracks and to still have it largely functioning is I'm quite pleased with it. It actually works considerably better than I ever thought it was going to. That's a terrible bit of pipe work, but it's done. So there we go. That will be a little bit more housing or something will go in there. We've got a little bit of demand for housing. Shall we get some more? We'll get some more of the student housing going on down here. We might as well give it a dirt path. Can we give a dirt path up here just to... have some more. we've got our university, or one of our two universities over here. So sure, you can have some more. You can have some more giant housing blocks along the dirt path. That's going to ask trouble for traffic. You know what? Kind of curious to see what it's going to do down there. How many students have we got up at this uni now? It is just under 1,000. Although it's just under 1,000 in there, and our other one over here is actually less, only 500 over there. We haven't got enough. We haven't really got enough people for two unis, but it was requested, so it happened. Now you might have noticed I am playing this on creative mode, on unlimited money mode down here. What I do like though is that the game still gives you kind of your current earnings. I think it's done weekly or probably hourly because of the mod I've got going on. Basically, it's over time you'll be earning money, or in this case, losing money. And I was curious to know how we do it. We're actually not that far away from making a profit. Here we go. Now you can see the circuits in all of their glory from above, if you like. Yeah, I kind of quite like having the yellow outlines the circuit. The white lights are the pit lane. There are some other bits of, yellow around the place, these kind of main roads joining stuff up. However, it's pretty effective. It's pretty cool effect, but it's also very difficult to build. Oh, crap. Okay, so... so it is now, of course, rush hour, and everything has ground to a halt. I think... Oh, no, not too bad. Knock Hill's still moving. This road's still moving. Trying to get out of there is not really moving. Yeah, I mean, that's never the greatest turning. How's up here going? Pretty bad. Yeah, so rush hour in this... the rush hour mod, now that it's working and my circuits, is not ending well. Holy crap, that is a lot of vehicles suddenly using our road over there. Is anybody... Nah, they still reckon... Oh, no one wants to use the bypass because they still reckon it's quicker to drive through the really congested track. Of course they do. Yeah, so small problems. Maybe if we get, I say, it's not going to solve any problems. It's just going to add more people. However, there is some demand for residential, and maybe if we get some people living over here, these people will work in the shops right around this area, and then they can just drive from from there to work rather than across the entire city to work. Oh, crap. It's like 3 AM and everyone's still stuck in traffic jams. I mean, you know, let's not think too much about the time and so on. Yeah, that needs some adjusting, shall we say. This main road. It also doesn't really help that the AIs don't quite use motorways correctly. Sometimes they do, some motorways they do sort of use correctly, but they tend to sort of just sit in the inside lane despite you being on a 2 or 3 lane road. They don't always pay the most attention. Over here's working okay. How's the alleyway doing? The alleyway's not too bad, so this little solution has worked. How has this solution over here worked? Yeah, this is not all stacked up. Ah. Actually, that's not even my fault. That's the game. That's just like how the game builds their motorways. That's the game being, well, a little bit derpy. Why are you wanting to... See what I mean about the... Just use that lane. The inside lane there is good. I think they're getting across because they want to be turning somewhere. I don't know why. Sometimes they get a bit dopey. And the problem is, once they've started getting dopey, they then back everybody up. So now that's going to cause mayhem because cars can't get on the motorway because it's all blocked up because nobody's using the motorway properly. You know what? Ignore the incompetence traffic jam. That's not my fault. That is absolutely not my fault. How is everywhere else doing? Over here, we're a little bit busy on the old exit. I mean, this is actually a decently populated area. 6,000 people living there. And 6,000 people's garbage is not being collected. Crap. We could do with another one, but... Yeah, it's just getting the garbage trucks to drive far enough to get over there is a little bit of an issue. Have we sorted out... We should zoom out. We don't have to don't notice it. How are we... Okay, it's sort of calmed down a little bit. Ish. I mean, this is always going to be a problem. This is a... It's only got 3,000 people living there, but it has got a lot of offices. Offices aren't normally the worst bits, but apparently it is. Apparently it is causing mighty problems. Maybe if I spat that out further down, maybe that would help. Maybe I spat that out down there. Let's give it a try, shall we? Let's go back to building tunnels again. This is my pastime on this game, is just build tunnels. Oh crap! There is a subway station, but that being said, we should be okay. So if we build this along here and then, oh, maybe not quite like that, and then up. That's a little bit wobbly, but they'll get there. So that should mean we have less vehicles. That shouldn't be at stop as often, so we might keep some flow going a little bit better. We'll give it a try. We'll see see how that one all pans out. I've been running that one way fast forward for too long. Let's go and turn that back off for now, just for... You see what I mean, though, about the lights being cool effects, seeing circuits. That's less of a mess now. Yeah, I could probably do with maybe sorting out this junction somehow, because I haven't actually really had to do much over this circuit. It was running pretty smoothly on the old traffic issues until we saw the mess that occurred last night. Everywhere else is going okay. Has Incompetence Junction? Nope. Incompetence Junction is getting worse. It's not quite bad enough to back up onto the motorway yet. Onto the roundabout. If it does, that gets backed up, then everything stops. So, crap. But I love that the worst bit of traffic we've got now is something that I have no control over, or that I did not design and is not a racetrack bit. Why are they all wanting to stick in that lane? Like, I was expecting there to be, you know, potentially like a junction or something that everyone's wanting to go to, but it's so far away. The next main junction is up here. These are small. I mean, that's the next junction. The turn off is to get into here, as you can tell by their wonkiness, design built by me quickly. That's just adjoining the carriageway. I don't know. I'm going to pretend it doesn't exist. We're going to have a look. But down here seems okay. Down here seems okay, not too bad in terms of the traffic still. The little escape tunnel is working. That's all functioning neatly. Yeah, that bypass hasn't worked because nobody wants to go up that part. However, it's a little bit messy on the traffic. It's the traffic getting into there that's the big problem. I guess it's everyone trying to get to their offices or whatnot. It's the big problem. I wonder if... Okay, here's a new idea. Here's a cunning plan, if ever I did see one. Perhaps we do an extra, not a one-way road, but we'll have an extra road come in here Okay, we're going to knock an office down. Sorry if you work there. But that that should make it a better option. So, like, if you want to go over here, rather than having to enter there and wiggle around, you can potentially just go there and drive up. It's again about giving people options where we can. Somebody's poorly. Well, we won't worry about them. And it might also mean some people use the better lanes down here, possibly. Again, as I said, there's a lot of guesswork, and sometimes you fix a problem, sometimes you move a problem, sometimes the problem does unexpected things, sometimes the traffic just gets worse and worse, and nobody will use the lanes. But there we go. That's that is a look at our racetrack city. It is mostly functioning. There are a couple of bits of traffic issues that will have to be worked on. I'm going to have to figure out the best way of dealing with all of this mayhem. So once they get into there, they just kind of vanish. It just all spreads out, and it's fine. It's just this initial turning. I'll have to faff around more and think of a better way of dealing with that. However, yeah, on the whole, like, I am pleasantly surprised that mostly traffic isn't terrible. It isn't terrible. I did this way back on, I think, SimCity, when the modern, not very good one came out. I remember I tried on that. Of course, here you've got so much more freedom, you've got so much more space to build your circuits on. It never really worked on the SimCity. This one, though, is actually working not too badly, aside from Incompetence Junction. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.